What's going on, Washington fans? Welcome to Taking Command with Josh Taylor. And this episode is the 2022 Washington Schedule Show. Let's do it. It is the morning after the schedule release, and it is the first season as the Washington Commanders. And I got to be honest, I like this schedule. There's a couple things I don't like. There's some things I like more than we did last year that I'm going to talk about. But as always, guys, I just wanted to break down this schedule real quick. Not going to do some predictions. I'll probably do that closer to the season. But as always, if you like this video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on anything on the way to 1,000 subscribers. And it's going up every single day. So I appreciate all the support. But let's get right to it because, man, I was a season ticket holder last year and it was a ton of fun going to the games. I think I missed like 2 or 3 games during the regular season. And preseason, I didn't really go to any, but still, great atmosphere. I loved it. There were some crazy games, some great moments. I'm going to kind of bring that into the schedule with this schedule for this year as well. So, first off, right off the bat, week 1, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars coming to FedEx Field at 1 o'clock, which those 1 o'clock games, man, it's hype. You can do a lot of tailgating before the game. Highly recommend getting there super early so you can hang out with the fans, interact, get some good food going, drink some beer if that's what you're into. But this matchup here, Jacksonville going all out, spending all that money in free agency. They're trying to go all in this year. Can Trevor Lawrence make that jump? And I think that's one thing that I really want to see what this Jacksonville Jaguar team looks like. They play up to harder opponents. I mean, they knocked out Carson Wentz and the Colts to end the season last year, beat the Buffalo Bills. Like, they're capable of winning big games. So, I feel like you can't overlook any of these teams. And, as my guy Nick Saban will say, the rat poison of the media says we have the easiest schedule in the NFL. I'm not buying any of that. There's 32 teams. Everyone, gives their all every single game. It's not like someone just – I feel like there's not a team this year where it's just like, all right, they're guaranteed to be the worst team in the NFL. I mean, you could say we play the easier schedules. Like, we're not like having like the Chargers and Chiefs and all these hard teams like we did last year. But the Jacksonville Jaguars still got that young quarterback. Urban Meyer's gone. That just alone makes them a better team. So I'm interested to see this matchup. I think it's a great home opener. The home opener last year with the Chargers was nuts. If you were there at the game, it was just a great atmosphere. Already got tickets to this one and the next home game that I'm going to talk about. So highly recommend getting some tickets. Pack out FedEx Field. Doesn't matter what you think of off the field stuff, on the field stuff. We're all fans of this team. I'm sick of seeing all this negative stuff on Twitter, but like, oh, why are you going to games? Because I'm a fan. I enjoy it. This is what I love to do. I love to talk about this team. And I'm going to go to some games. So there's nothing wrong with that. So week 1, Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, week 2, this is one I kind of circled because I kind of wanted to go this one. And that is going to the Detroit Lions. It seems like every time I see them on TV, great home stadium, great atmosphere. Never been to Detroit, honestly. Didn't really have a reason to. But still, week 2, September 18th, another 1 o'clocker. We travel to take on the Lions. And like I said, we might be facing some of these bottom tier teams, but the Lions, once again, showed some promise at the end of the season. They add some weapons with Jameson Williams to add with Amon-Ra St. Brown. You never know what you're going to get out of Jared Goff. They're building up that defense with Aiden Hutchinson in the draft. So they're doing a lot of good things. They're headed in the right direction, but still you can't slouch. And like I said, especially at Detroit, that's something that you have to consider about some of these away games. There's absolutely a home atmosphere and a home field advantage in these. With the Lions, once again, I'm not overlooking them. Do I feel good about the first 2 teams? Absolutely. I feel like that's the perfect start for a quarterback on a new team, some of these younger weapons to get things going. I know we have the preseason, but this is the real live action. Then week 3, a highly anticipated game super early, which I'm glad because I want to get some of these out early in the season. And that is the Eagles coming to FedEx Field September 25th, 1 o'clock game. Carson Wentz, his old team, he's going to see that 3 times this year. So the Eagles are coming here. I'd rather them come here first before we go there, which, I'm going to talk about us going to Philly. That game's going to be wild. But still, get some of these NFC East games out of the way early while we're healthy, while things are meshing. Like I said, you have those 2 games to really get things going against the Jags and the Lions. So here with Philadelphia, crucial, obviously, NFC East, we need to get this one. I mean, the next one as well. All these NFC East games are so crucial. You can't, if you miss some early, you could be out of the playoffs early in the season. So that's one thing. Some people are like, man, I loved having that stretch of like 5 NFC East games in the season. I'm like, you're crazy. I hated that because that was right when COVID hit us, took us out of any playoff contention. Like, what if we would have played 2 of those games earlier in the season? Like, instead of like the Saints and like the Falcons, if they would have like flip-flopped. I could care less about the Saints-Falcons game end of the season if I know that we're in the NFC East race. And I feel like we could have possibly made the playoffs if we would have done that. But nonetheless, after Philadelphia, week 4, we travel to the Dallas Cowgirls, the crybabies of Dallas. We were going to Jerry's World. I've never been there. I definitely have it circled on my list of places to go to. It seems like Alabama plays there twice a year with the college football playoffs. But nonetheless, Washington going to Dallas week 4, October 2nd. Once again, 2 early NFC East games that you got to win. You got to at least win one of these. You've got a split series with guys. We can't get swept. I don't see us getting swept by the Eagles. The Giants, for some reason, always play us well. But nonetheless, going to Dallas, October 2nd. And then this is a good one. This is one of the home games I have circled. That's the Tennessee Titans coming October 9th on week 5. That's right. Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, possibly Malik Willis. I mean, Treylon Burks. This is going to be a fun team to watch. I like the way that this matchup could possibly be with Washington and Tennessee, with our defense and that offense. Derrick Henry against this defensive line. Holy smokes. That alone gets me excited to come watch that game. Like I said, guys, get to the stadium. I don't care what trolls are telling you on Twitter about like feeding money to Dan Snyder. Get out to the stadium. I'm not going to hype it up like it's the best stadium out there because honestly, it's probably the worst stadium in the NFL, and I can honestly say that. But still, we as fans are what makes it so special. I remember going to the Giants night game last year when we kicked that field goal to win. Holy smokes, man. That place was nuts. That was one of my favorite games that I've been to in person. It was a little rainy, a little cold, but still, it was such a good time. I didn't leave the stadium until like 2-3 hours after the game, and I had to work the next day. I think I got home at like 3:00 in the morning. Wasn't ideal on my part, but nonetheless, I was living in the moment, loved every second of it. Now, this one's a fun one. Going to Chicago for Thursday night football. Thursday night. So you can't sit here and say we don't have primetime games because they gave us some. The Chicago Bears. The Bears. If you plan on traveling, I feel like we got this one at a good time because it's not going to be freezing cold. It's not going to be December. But still a night game, so it is going to be cold. So bring your sweaters. The Chicago Bears are the big head scratchers to me, man. You have Justin Fields. You're not building around them. They just don't have many weapons. If I had to put my money in towards a team being the worst team in the NFL this season, I'd say the Chicago Bears are absolutely up there for me. But Thursday night football, I'll take Monday morning football if they gave it to us. Like, I don't care. I'll take football at any time of the day. The one thing I did notice is with this schedule, Washington did not get a primetime game at home yet. And I'll explain that a little bit more coming up. But still, nonetheless, under the lights in Chicago could be a fun one. I think that would be a runaway game for us. I don't want to be cocky because it's still early. But I'm definitely circling that for one. If you want to go to a game, you want to travel, and you want to see us win, go to Chicago. I feel at most best about that one. And my ex was a Bears fan, so that might add a little bit to it. But after that one, October 23rd, this one is always such a good game, and I can't wait for this one. I'm so glad it's at home this year. The Green Bay Packers always play them close. If you remember the Dwayne Haskins and Terry McLaurin game when we played them last time at home. Then, of course, last year when we went to Green Bay, such a close game. The Heineke dropping before the goal line, the heartbreak. So many close games last year. I'm not going to bring up the past, but nonetheless, Week 7, October 23rd, 1 o'clock game. Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers without Devontae Adams. What the heck does that look like? I like Christian Watson. I like Romeo Dobbs a lot. That's my boy. Follows me on Instagram and Twitter. But still, like, it's always such a close and entertaining game. Aaron Rodgers versus this defense never disappoints. He's running from this defensive line. He's making some boneheaded plays sometimes, but then he's also dicing us up in the secondary. Like I said, we don't know what it's going to look like without Devontae Adams yet. So the preview of that episode, like, I'm going to start doing those like right before the games, like a few days or so before the games. It's going to be interesting to see what Green Bay looks like at that time of the season. And then, of course, another reunion game for Carson Wentz going to Indianapolis, the Colts, Lucas Oil Stadium. Never been there either. Shout out to my boy Scott. He's a huge Colts fan. Definitely on the radar of going to that game. October 30th, Week 8, one of those 425 games. Carson Wentz, like I said, going back to the Colts. People saying he was a terrible teammate. Teammates there loved him. I don't know what to believe. All I know is him and Matt Ryan. Two veteran quarterbacks, two, I think, balanced, even teams. Like, if you look at us last year and the Colts last year, man, I feel like if you switched Carson Wentz and put him on this team last year, we would have made the playoffs. But I think outside of that, good running backs, good defense, offensive line stout. Their pass protection offensive line was terrible for the Colts, but still, like, I feel like they are like the AFC us kind of. The AFC, South sucks. The NFC East at times sucks. And the Colts were like kind of like that shining light for a little bit. I think that was us too. Like, they were the underdogs. And I feel like we were too out here in the NFC East. So another good one if you want to travel. Never been there. A shout out to Tim. I know he lives up there in Indy. Loves it. I definitely have that circled as one game to go to in the future. I want to go to 2 away games. I'm hurt by one of them because there's one I really wanted to go to, but it came at the worst time possible. But nonetheless, we come back home to Kirk Cousins. This one, yeah. If you haven't circled this one already, go ahead and just highlight this one, circle, put an asterisk beside it, whatever you want to do. Because Week 9, November 6th, 1 o'clock, Kirk Cousins, first time back at FedEx Field, I believe. I'll have to fact check that one. Just pull that one off the rip. I don't think that he's played here since he's left. I don't think so. And I feel like it's so funny because this fan base still has so much opinions towards Kirk Cousins. You either love him still or you absolutely hate him still. Like, for me, I just respect the dude. Like, whatever, do what you're doing out there with the Vikings. Has nothing to do with us out here. I mean, I feel like we got a good use out of him for where he was drafted. He was better than what we've had in the last few years. Do I wish he was here? No. You can feel that way. You can play both sides of it. But still, good. Another good game. Great offense with a lot of potential against this defense that underperformed last year. Let's just say that. Definitely underperformed last year. This one is the fireworks show. This one right here. Man. Oh, Week 10, November 14th. Monday Night Football in Philadelphia. That landfill by the water they call the Link. I remember flying over this stadium when I was going to the draft in Cleveland. I gave the birds a bird of my own. I hate Philadelphia, man. I hate Philadelphia. I hate the Cowboys. I hate the Giants. But, man, I hate Philadelphia. The stories you hear about that stadium, the fan base, no personal shots, but at the same time, absolutely is personal. But Monday Night Football, Carson Wentz, and this is a good thing. Carson Wentz already played the Eagles. That emotion's out. That's gone. He doesn't have that anymore. But still a Monday night game, like prime time, under the lights. We better rock them black alternative jerseys here because it's going to be a funeral. I want us to pull out the black jerseys. Let the Eagles wear something else, man. Wear the green, wear the white. It don't matter. Because them black jerseys need a night game. Like it's a night game. You roll out them things, you're not losing. Like I feel like that's like last resort. Like we're pulling out the black unis. Philadelphia, perfect game. I pray that's when we decide to use them. But nonetheless, gotta win that one too. But I like how it's spaced out, these NFC East games. You got week 3, week 4, then you got a little bit of a gap. Then you got week 10, Philadelphia. So it's like a little bit of a gap. It's not like Giants week 2, and then we're going to wait to the end of the season when you have COVID to play any more games. But then this is the one I'm probably going to travel to because I love Texas. Love Texas. Honestly, one of the reasons I didn't get season tickets this year is because I don't know if I'm staying in Virginia because I love Texas. Flat out love Texas. Want to move to Austin. A lot of people know that. But still, this isn't Austin. But we're going to Houston to take on the Texans, the long neck David Mills-led team. I don't know what this team's going to look like. You know, last year it was just a bunch of, it looked like the Lakers just signed a bunch of random veterans and hoped it worked. It really didn't, but sometimes it did. But then they actually started, drafting really well this year. Obviously, they had a ton of draft picks. Deshaun Watson's finally gone. That whole debacle's over. I don't know. Like I said, there's no given games in this NFL league. Like anyone could lose at any time. The Texans could absolutely beat us in Houston. Like they're not traveling here. I don't know. I want to see what these teams look like around the time we play them because that's another thing with these, like the strength of the schedule. Like we have the easiest schedule. For all we know, with our luck, not to jinx it, knock on woods. Don't blame me if this happens. I could be starting tight end by week 12. Like it's just you never know. Or the freaking Aaron Rodgers could have a cramp and we don't play him. Like you just never know. Anything can happen. There's a long time until these games are played. That's why I'm not doing any kind of predictions because you're going to throw them out the window by the time the game comes. But another game that's always exciting for whatever reason. The Atlanta Falcons come to FedEx week 12, November 27th, 1 o'clock. That's my mom's birthday. Shout out to mom. Good game. It was super entertaining last year. We remember the J.D. McKissick play. That's what made us fall in love with him. The Taylor Heineke duck that he threw to Terry McLaurin in the back of the end zone where Terry saves the day as usual. Just an entertaining game. Desmond Ridder might be starting by then. I don't see Marcus Mariota being the long term, so I think by then possibly Ridder could be in. But still, Drake London, Cordell Patterson, Kyle Pitts, a lot of weapons. That the secondary is going to get tested that week. Let's just say that. But still, I like going to Atlanta. That place, that's the worst home atmosphere ever. There's no fans at the games. Atlanta Falcons home games are like Miami Heat home games after LeBron. Like it's dead. If you watch NBA playoffs right now, the Miami Heat, the home stadium looks awful. Like, there was just nobody there. And they just beat the 76ers. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. Maybe it's because like the games are like on like a Thursday and stuff, whatever. But still, it's Miami. Like there's plenty of people. But still, Atlanta, I don't know. It ain't the same Falcons team like it used to be. Like back then, it's not the Dirty Birds anymore. I should say that. It's just the Birds. Just the Atlanta Falcons. But week 13, we get another NFC East game. This one's the first of the Giants, the New York Giants. And why are they called the Giants, by the way? This is the question no one's asking. What are they the Giants of? I haven't figured it out yet. The New York Giants of what? What makes them giant? Like, are they like the Titans and like Attack on Titan, like running around? Like, I don't know. Never been to New York. Kind of want to go. But week 13, December 4th, 1 o'clock game. For some reason, we always play like booty cheeks against them. Can never figure it out. I mean, even back to Kirk Cousins, like that long ago. It's been a long time since we've swept the Giants. I want to see when that was. Somebody look up that stat, drop it in the comment section. When was the last time we swept the Giants? I feel like it's been forever. For some reason, we just struggle. And then week 14, we have a much needed bye week. Sometimes we all need a bye week. Personal lives as well. Take a time real quick. Take a bye week for yourself. Take a bye day. Next day off, just do nothing. It is okay to do nothing sometimes. You need to refresh, relax. Comes a little bit late in the season, but still right before a stretch of 4 important games that could push us into the playoffs. So I feel like it comes at a good time. Like we play the Giants. All right, take a break. Rest up. Don't know what injuries look like. And then, boom, we're right back in it. But this time, the Giants come to FedEx Field week 15. The date hasn't been finalized yet. And this is what I was talking about. We don't have a prime time game at home. I feel like this could be one of them here. And there's another one coming up. That would be monumental. But I think this one here, depending on the NFC East schedule and standings, this could possibly be a nighttime game. Like, if it just depends on the importance of this game. If not, I could see this being like another 4:25-ish game, somewhere around that. But still, nonetheless, December 17th or 18th, time to be discovered. But you've got to win one of these. I mean, this is when the season and the schedule starts being crucial. Can't start losing games. And then this is the one that made me mad, because this is the one I really wanted to go to. Saturday football in the Bay. I wanted to go to San Francisco so freaking bad, man. I've never been there. This was the one I'm just dying to go. I got some peeps out there. Great fan base. Top tier content creators out there. San Francisco 49ers fan base does everything so well. They complain as much as we do, but rightfully so. There's a lot to complain about for both teams. But still, man, oh man, this one's a good one. I remember all the games before, how close this was, but Saturday, but it had to be on Christmas Eve, man. 4:00. I'm glad there's football on, December 24th. But I really wanted to go to this one. Why couldn't this one be like, I don't know, the Colts or something like that for Christmas Eve? Carson, Christmas Eve, go to the Colts. I feel like that'd be cool. But still, Saturday football, I love it. Like I said, we need to somebody needs to write something about Wednesday afternoon football, Wednesday night football. I'll do it. I don't care who it is, but I'm also the same guy that's watched the XFL, USFL. I just can't get enough of it, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Nonetheless, this one could be a fireworks show as well, depending on who's playing quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Week 17, January 1st, first of the year. Hopefully, it's off to a good start of the year at 1:00 when Cleveland comes here. Like I said, just Nick Chubb, Myles Garrett. Like this is a Browns team. If Deshaun Watson starts all season, people aren't talking enough about how crazy that offense is going to be. Amari Cooper. I mean, goodness gracious. I think people haven't talked about it enough yet because they're waiting to see what happens with Deshaun Watson, and rightfully so. But still, that's going to be a good team. That can be one of the harder games for us, and I'm just glad that it's at home, week 17. And then the finale, the way it should end every season. Dallas coming to FedEx Field. And if this game here isn't at night, it'll be an absolute travesty. I pray to the football gods that it ends up being a nighttime game, and that it comes down to whoever wins this game either wins the NFC East or makes the playoffs still. Like, I want this to be a must-win game. Dallas at home at night, black jerseys, playoffs on the line. Like, that is like movie script material for us Washington fans. That has to happen. But I like the schedule. I'm not going to look too into it. I'm not going to dive too deep into it because, like I said, a lot of things can change. But the opponents and the days and the weeks are not going to change, so you can plan out the rest of your year. Like I said, I've already got tickets to the Jaguars and Eagles games so far. Probably going to go ahead and pull the trigger on the Titans game as well. But then just give more tickets as the season goes by. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to stay here. October, November, December, January is a long time away. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards staying here in Virginia just because I want to be close to this team, family, so on. But still, I love going to these games. So whether if you travel from far away, if you're, here in Virginia, DC, Maryland, like I am, and you go to games regularly, nonetheless, be there. Pack it out, be loud. I'm sick of seeing opposing, team fans at these events, at the games. I'm sick of people talking about it, the local media tweeting out pictures. This is what the stadium looks like an hour before kickoff. Shit, I'm one of the guys that's still outside the stadium, like hogging down 3 hamburgers and like a beer before I go in real quick. But still, just be there. Hit me up if you're going. Tell me which games you're going to. Drop it in the comments. And like I said, guys, like and subscribe to the channel because I got some good things kicking up. I'm so excited about the season. Not even just the season, but leading up to the season. OTAs, mini camp, training camp. Man, training camp shouldn't be as fun as we make it. But me and a bunch of other content creators, we have a blast at training camp. And there's a lot of things we've got planned coming up with the team. They've been involving us in a lot of stuff. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to do a mailbag episode coming up soon too. Like I said on the last episode, haven't planned it out yet, but it's probably going to be like a Sunday coming up when I have a Sunday off so I can just sit down and go through all these. But nonetheless, start dropping your comments. If you have questions for the mailbag, just drop it in this video. Ask me questions about anything with the team or anything about me. Honestly, anything, food, I don't care. Like I can talk about anything. But still, if you have any questions, drop it in here. I'll be sure to include it in the mailbag episode when I do it. But guys, like I said, this is Taking Command with Josh Taylor. Appreciate y'all tuning in on the 2022 schedule show for our Washington Commanders. See y'all next time.